All right. If you only had one inheritance to leave your children, what would you choose? 10 million pounds or $10 million, or values that produce 10 million repeatedly? I'll take that again. If you only had one inheritance, thank you, Barbara, to leave your children, which would you choose? 10 million pounds or $10 million, or values that produce 10 million pounds or $10 million? Thank you very much, Barbara. So the choice is yours. Which inheritance lasts longer? Which of this lasts longer? All right. So I also want to ask you, can money survive without values? 1 minute, guys. Let me just put my timer on. Just think about what I'm saying. Can money survive without values? What about the first questions? If you missed any of the things I said before I started, or missed out on anything, please go on YouTube, type my name, ILOGE. Look under the live stream section. You should find this video. You can pause it, watch it again, and pause it, watch it again, pause it, watch it again. Thank you very much, Assam Mini and everyone that joins. Carlo, Rachel, Samuel, and as many of you that have joined, on Facebook. Thank you, Cecilia. Oh, from United States. Oh, wow, that's nice. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. All right. Another question I want to ask is, can money survive without values? So something you should pause and reflect and think about. Can values recreate wealth? That's another question for us. So tonight, we are not talking about what families own. That's what we're here to talk about. We're talking about what families become. Okay? What families become. Today's topic is for you if this kind of question resonates around you. We're going to be talking about family values, just like it's been advertised on the screen, what's invited you. Family values. We're going to be talking about that. All right? So, sorry, guys. So, will be our topic for today. Okay? So, you're welcome. All my TikTok family, you're very much welcome. I'm not sure of the numbers on TikTok, but I know it's over 46,000. Maybe over 48. I'm not sure now. Maybe 48,000. Please, anyone there can put it on the comment section. I can't remember what it is. I have not checked in a while. So as many of you that are on YouTube, very much thank you to you. I think over 1,500. Thank you very much, Brenda. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's very kind of you. To as many of you that are on Facebook, over 14,000 of you, over 10,000 of you on Instagram. This is more saying thank you very much. And on LinkedIn, sorry, I've not forgotten those on LinkedIn. Very much shout out to all of you. So wherever you're watching from, please, like Cecilia, just let us know she's watching from the United States. Let us know where you're watching us from. Brenda, let us know where you're watching us from. Wayne, Mama Gono, Destiny Rabo, Abdul Hassan, Benny Hill, Vadi, and Beyonce. Please let us know where you guys are watching from. Thank you, everybody. I can see you. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. So this is a big shout out. Before we go for, please share this live stream so more people can be a part of it. And turn on your notification button. If you've never followed my channel before, please follow this channel so that you can get contents like this that can help your well-being and business and your career to get developed. Please power tap on the screen so that we can get these likes up be you on Facebook, be you on YouTube, be you on Instagram, or LinkedIn as well as on YouTube. Please power tap so that this stream can be suggested to more people, and this can be a blessing. Now turn on your notification buttons to follow this live stream. Remember that I have free ebooks. Send me a DM or send us a DM. Free ebook is called Roadmap to Financial Freedom, and also have a paid ebook is called Idea to Short-Led Business. If it's something you're looking, thank you very much, Benny Hill Davis. Very much appreciated. If you are looking to start a short-led business, send us a DM and we can send that to you. All right. If you have been wondering, looking for somebody to have a conversation with, I can spare 10 minutes free for us to have a talk on your career, on business, or something that you're of interest to you. All right. Just send us a DM and we can make that happen, or book a schedule. So if you want to join like minds, follow my channel on WhatsApp, be it on Facebook. Please, there's a channel so you can know when things like this go live as well. All right. So like those that around me know, I'm writing a book. It's called The Migration Mirage: Why Nations Lose Tomorrow and Lineages Fade. So it's a book that keeps me excited. Someone asked me about it today, and someone asked me about it on Friday as well. So it keeps me on top of my toe to ensure that I finish the book. So soon we'll have a website out so that you guys can join to wait. And once the copies drop out, you'll be the first to have it on, all right? So please check out my channels. There's movies, there's different educational stuff, things that can add value and help you be a better person. So please check them out. So remember that this live stream is sponsored by The Things You Love, it's sponsored by D610 Homes, it's sponsored by Love Family Podcast, so check them out. I'll talk more about them towards the end, all right? So the whole idea of why I do this every Sunday, 7 p.m. UK time, is why? To stir up a dissatisfaction in your spirit, man. That's the whole idea. To stir up a dissatisfaction in your spirit, man. The whole idea is to awaken the possibilities in you that have not yet become. The idea is to get you to where you ought to be, to moving from where you are now to where God has designed for you. I'm inspired by the scripture, Ecclesiastes 10, verse 7. It says, I've seen servants on horses while princes walk on the ground like servants. That scripture keeps me motivated that every one of us ought to be in the right place at the right time, so we can make the most of the things that God has designed for each and every one of us. Okay? Right. I'm not a guru. I don't appear to be one. I don't aim to be one. I'm not a guru. I only teach the little things Christ has done in my life. I'm here to provide guidance I desperately needed, but never got. It's more like me talking to myself, my 5-year-old self, my 10-year-old self, my 15-year-old self, sharing to you today things I wish I knew those years, say 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, And as I'm talking to you guys, I'm talking to myself. It's not to say that I've arrived or nothing. No, it's just that it's a consistent reminder and a challenge for me, and I hope that is a blessing to you. Last week we talked about family identity. If you missed out on it, go on my YouTube page, type Onyekwelu. You'll find me on YouTube. Click on live. You can see the title, Family Identity. Pause it, play it, learn, share it to other people. It will be a blessing to them. But today we're going to be talking about family values. Family values. Family values. Family values is what we're going to be talking about today. That will be our focus for today. And I hope that you guys give me attention. I know you have a lot of you might be watching the World Cup in a few minutes. If you feel like you want to go ahead to watch it, good and fine. Just go ahead and watch it. But remember that you can still watch the parts you missed just by searching for me on YouTube. Thank you very much, Misty. Misty, thank you. Let the best man win today, all right? That's what I'm all about today. Okay. Family values. The visible wealth every family must protect. The visible every family must protect. So, like I asked you guys before, for those of you that were at the beginning, what was that one thing that you would leave for your family? Or was that, if you're told, if you had to leave wealth or to leave values, which one would you? Just scroll right back and you can be able to find that, okay? So please give us attention. In the meantime, please, if you are not yet shared, please share this so that more people can be a part of it, all right? More people can be a part of it. Okay, so across OECD countries, families, so countries, these are some nations like UK, America, Japan, These are the kind of nations that are under OECD countries. The family structures have become more diverse with increase in cohabitation, divorces, and single-parent households since the 1960s. This is according to them. In the UK, married couples and families remain the largest group. Yes, we still have families in the largest in that are married couples in large group. Thank you, Caroline. But their share has declined over the past decades, while cohabitation has increased. Mark it. What this is saying, in essence, is that cohabitation has increased, even though families that have husband and wife is still in large majority. What this research is saying, or this statistics is saying, is that there have been an increase in family people cohabiting. There's been an increase, not married couples. All right. So strong families are not built by accident. They require intentional investment in relationships and values. Very, very much valued. More children are growing up in single parent homes. In addition to what you just saw, OECD, that's countries like the United Kingdom, Germany, Japan, America, rates a sole parenthood it's generally increasing. Thank you very much for that, Mary, Missy. Generally increased over the recent decade. That's single parenthood has increased over the recent decades. Okay, prompting extensive research into child well-being and family support. This is according to OECD. OECD data also shows that still live with two parents. Mark what I just said initially. Married couples are still a large number, but it said around 1 in 6 live in a single parent household on average across OECD countries. This is an important data that we need to bear in mind. Many single parents perform an extraordinary job under difficult circumstances, no doubt about it. The challenge is often not the dedication of the parents, but the reduced time, financial resources, and support available. You get it? So it's not to say that people will not survive or children will not become good or achieve a lot under single parenthood. No. What it's saying is that you can't compare that to a married couple that has the time and has the financial resources and has all the support that's available to make that child well-rounded. Thank you very much, Mr. Children generally benefit when caring adults share the responsibilities of raising them. So if they are both a male and a female, husband and wife, taking care of the children benefit much, 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 much better. So next thing I want us to bear in mind is that many prisons populations come from different family backgrounds. This is very interesting. I wish I have time to talk to you about prisons and some of the research I've done about it and some of the reasons why we find people in those places, which is quite fascinating. If you've never done a research about it, do a research on prisons and what drives people to get to those places. Thank you, Julia. What drives people? Thank you very much, Cheese Baby, Jeb Koch, and Bruce Ellen. Be merciful, and thank you to as many of you that have joined that I might have missed out on. All right. Research in many countries has found that incarcerated people are disproportionately likely to have experienced family instability, parental separation, abuse or neglect, poverty, exposure to violence, or adverse childhood experiences. These factors do not determine the child's future. Sorry, guys. It will not determine a child's future. Or there are risk factors in criminology and developmental psychology. So the question to ask is, if prisons were asked what they wish children had received more of, would their answers be smartphones or stronger families? That is a question to ask. I'll rephrase again. If a prison warder or a government official, someone that works in a prison, were to be asked, what are the things that you wish that children had received more of? Would it be more smartphones or would it be more stronger families? The answer, I'm sure you guys know what it is. So I'll leave it to you. Next thing I want us to bear in mind is wealth without values really lasts. Wealth without values rarely lasts. Sorry. Wealth without values rarely lasts. Businesses, historians often observe a recurring pattern. Generation 1 will build, Generation 2 will maintain, Generation 3 will often what? consume those things. You know, in UK also there's an ideology that it says shared sleep to shared sleep in 3 generations. You know, so this is important. Why would generation one build it? Why would generation two maintain it? And why would the third generation consume it? It's not supposed to be so. It's supposed to be that each generation it gets better by the day. That's what one of the things I discuss with my siblings and discuss with. Thank you very much, Daniel. I discuss with most of the people around me that how can we be outperform the previous generation rather than there being a diminishing return or a decline generation by generation. That is not a good desire. Thank you very much, Collins. I'll answer to your questions towards the end. All right. So money is inherited. Wisdom is transferred. Without values, wealth becomes what dangerous. It's important that we bear that in mind. Next thing I want us to bear in mind is technology has connected devices, but often reduced family conversations. And all of you might bear me witness. Many families now spend separated significant time on individual screens. Common examples could include eating together while looking at phones. I think I kind of saw this in a restaurant, one of the restaurants when I traveled to a particular city. And you guys can relate with me. Families, everybody were on their device, you know. Reduced face-to-face conversations, fewer shared family traditions. Researchers continue to study how excessive screen time can affect relationships, attention, and well-being. Thank you very much, Julia. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So the point here is that families are becoming digitally connected, emotionally disconnected. So, and I hope that some of the things are sharing, we're making the most of it as we go on along. All right. Next point is that society celebrates achievement more than character. You know, observe modern culture. Children are celebrated for what? Grades, football, music, business, money, and followers. You know, but how often are they celebrated for honesty, kindness, humility, patience, forgiveness, and self-control? So we reward performance, but it's important that we also celebrate people's character. Very, very important. Many children know the passwords between better than their family history. So I ask you a question: can your children tell your grandparents' values? Can they tell what your why your family exists? Can they tell your family mission? Can they tell about your family sacrifices, like we talked on last week? Can they do all these things? Yet they know TikTok trends, they know gaming codes, they know celebrity gossips. So key thing is that when families stop telling their stories, culture tells another story instead. So ensure that the culture is not telling a story, but you are the one intentionally shaping the values of your family. Values are no longer assumed. They must be intentionally taught. You know, previous generations often learn values through what? Grandparents, through communities, faith communities, neighbors, extended families. Today is a change. People are learning values if there is at all, from social media, from influencers, from entertainers, from online personalities. If parents don't become primary teachers, the internet gradually will be the one that is teaching their children the things that I hope doesn't become a disaster, right? So ask yourself. I think I just remember a boy that performed a TikTok challenge. I think it has to be, I don't know how it was, you know, I think I saw it on ITV or Intercommentary or something. I think I don't know what they do, but they try to die or so for some seconds or whatever. I can't remember what it is. And this boy, I think he attempted the first time, nothing happened. I think he did the second time and he passed away. That's how he died, just from a TikTok challenge, just from a mobile phone. So you need to be able to teach your children the right values, you know, yourself, so that no one else teach them, you know, and I'm sure the parents are not delighted in this. All right. Okay. Next thing is I want you to bear in mind is what is our family? What is your family? That's a question to ask you. What's our family known? I'll put it this way: what is our family becoming known for? So ask yourself, what's your family becoming known for? What habits are we normalizing? What conversations are we avoiding? What values will our grandchildren inherit if nothing changes? So think about this and bear them in mind. You know, a society does not collapse first in its parliament, no, neither in its courts or by economy, no. It begins to weaken when the values inside the home begins to fade. Strong nations are built on strong communities. Strong communities are built on strong families, and strong families are built on enduring values. So a family that gives attention to value will make a whole lot of difference. So I'll share this story with you, and I hope that we learn a thing or two and it inspires you like it always inspires me. Okay. There lived two wealthy businessmen, wealthy. Both were respected, both built companies from nothing, both owned beautiful homes, both drove expensive cars, both sent their children to best schools. From the outside, there were almost no difference. Everyone admired both families, but inside their homes, there was one enormous difference. The first man, his greatest priority was money. He felt that because there are a lot of people like that. He loved his children. Thank you very much, Vembe. Loved his children, but he assumed that giving them luxury was enough. He rarely taught them things because he was too busy. He didn't have the time to teach them integrity, humility, stewardship, sacrifice, gratitude, neither responsibility. Instead, whenever problems arose, he solved them with money. There are so many people like that. If you watch movies, you can see them. He solved them money. Whenever they wanted something, he bought it. His children admired his success, but never truly understood his principles. Eventually, when the businessman died, his children inherited millions, properties and luxury cars, businesses. Within months, arguments started. Soon, brothers became enemies, sisters stopped talking, court cases followed, businesses collapsed, employees resigned, properties were sold. Within 15 years, the family fortune had disappeared. People said, "What happened? What happened?" What happened? The answer wasn't difficult. They inherited wealth, but they never inherited the values required to preserve it. So let us bear that family in mind, while we bear the second man in mind. He was too wealthy, very successful, just like the first one, very respected. Then something happened all of a sudden. There was a particular pandemic during this time. Contracts disappeared, customers vanished, banks were calling, debts increased, properties had to be sold. Remember, he was as wealthy as the other man. About the same time, business after business closed. Within few years, he lost almost everything. The man became bankrupt, not because he was lazy, not because he lacked wisdom, but because circumstances overwhelmed many businesses during that difficult period. He became ill before passing away. He gathered his family, he gathered his children, and he discussed what the situations and everything. He said, I might not be able to leave you with a lot as I once dreamed of, but I can certainly leave you, but I certainly left you with things nobody can take away from you, right? So this man, while he was wealthy, he spent his moments and his life. He didn't just have the money. He spent a moment every day of his life. He was teaching his children honesty, discipline, faith, generosity, humility, respect, hard work, family unity, courage and wisdom. He repeatedly reminded them that money can disappear. Character should never disappear. Soon afterwards, he died. This is after speaking to his children. His children inherited almost nothing financially. They might have inherited one or two things, but almost nothing. No great asset, no great estate, because the man was in debt and huge debts and lost a lot of stuff. No huge investments, no luxury cars, only memories, lessons, values. Years passed. One child started a business, another became a doctor, one became an engineer, another became a teacher. One entered ministry, one had an entrepreneurship, one became an entrepreneur. Whenever anyone asked, how did your family recover after losing everything? They always gave the same answer. Our father lost his money, but he made sure we never lost our values. Today, that family has quietly rebuilt everything, not because someone gave them wealth, but because values kept producing wealth. So the question I have for you today is this: which father actually left the greater inheritance? The one who left millions or the one who left principles? The choice is yours. Thank you, Peter. So families don't rise because of inheritance. Families rise because of values. These are important things to bear into consideration. So what is family values? What is it? According to the dictionary, it is principles that guide behavior. It is standards that influence decisions, beliefs that determine what is right and what is wrong. That's what it is. Family values are the beliefs your family refuse to compromise. Thank you very much, Jill. They are the belief your family refuses to compromise. The things that your family said, we will not compromise on. They are those things. The principles pass from one generation to another. That's what family values are. The invincible culture inside every home, whether you agree or don't agree, they exist. So, the simple definition is family values are the rules your children obey, even when you are no longer there. When you're no longer there, that's what your family value is. So, so that's it, and all through scripture, all through leadership, there are so many things to put into consideration, or so many definitions. These are all spelled out there. Your children may forget your salary, they may forget your car, they may forget your title. They rarely forget how you treat people. They rarely forget how you speak to people, how you handle conflict, and how you honor God. They won't forget all these things. It might look to you like your children are just young or something. No, they know what they're doing, and they are listening to you. And they what do you call it? They will what's the word? They will learn from you, whether you are consciously doing it or subconsciously doing it. All right. So values are invincible. As we move on, please take a moment to share this live stream. If you have not done it, click on the live share button, share it so more people can be a part of it. Also, put your comments. Thank you very much for those that are putting their questions. Put your questions as well in the comment section. Even if you're watching from Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or LinkedIn, or even on TikTok, put your comments there so that we can also ask a question at the end, if time permits. Values are invisible wealth. Teach your children that money is visible. Values are invincible. Teach them these things. Money can be counted. Values cannot. Money is inherited. Values are transferred. Money can be stolen. Values cannot be stolen, right? Money creates comfort. Values create character. Teach your children that money buys education. Values determine whether education becomes wisdom. If you don't teach them these things, you will not get a good result. So think about this. Think about this thing. The root. Behavior is like a fruit. Values are the roots. Healthy roots, healthy fruits. Rotten roots, rotten fruits. So if there's no substance in the way you're bringing up your family, the fruits will show. Jesus Christ, I love what he says. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit. Neither can it bear them by their fruits. You will know them by their fruits. I love the way Jesus puts it. So it's important that you are mindful of the values that you are imputing into your family, because it will determine the fruits that you benefit from and the fruits that people know you for. So, 10 values every family must protect. Very, very important. Your faith. Christ first. Decisions guided by scriptures. Prayers before panic and trust before fear. As a family, ensure that your number one priority is your relationship with Christ. Number one. Not number two. Number one. Give it your all. Give it everything. If your children don't know how to read the Bible, ensure. If there are so many, get them a Bible. If you have never bought a Bible for your child, you're not doing any good to them. Or you've bought tablets and phones and everything. Your children cannot pray, cannot read, they're not doing good. Neither you or your spouse or anybody. It should be something that you're adding, you're transferring to your next generation. That is one value that you must protect. All right? Very, very important. There's a time will come that you will not be with your children anymore. It is that spirit of truth, that spirit of God in them that will keep guiding them when you're not there, to make the right choices, do the right things, and to uphold the family value and the family name. Don't forget that. Another value is integrity, doing right when nobody watches them, keeping promises, honesty in whatever they're doing, including in business, honest relationships. It's very, very important that families uphold such kind of value. Respect is another thing we should honor. is another value that your family should honor. Honoring parents, not abusing your parents. No matter westernization, not being rude to your parents is not good. Respecting your spouse, very important. Not denigrating, looking down on them. No. Respecting your children, respecting authority, respecting yourself. Even if you don't have respect for others, respect yourself. Carry yourself well. That is a good value that families need to teach their children and uphold. Respect. Next value is one of the things we touched on last month, discipline. Teach your value of discipline. Teach your family delayed gratification, self-control, daily consistency. I touch on it every time I tell you about the slight edge. Daily consistency and future over feelings. Future over feelings. That will go a long way. The next value is responsibility. Stop blaming. When a family that is all about blaming the next person, blaming the next person, blaming the next thing, blaming everybody. But like somebody said, that every time you're pointing at someone, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Is pointing back at you. You understand? So that is to say that stop saying that every fault is from somebody else. Always think, how can I, on my own part, what can I then do? So own your mistakes, and finish things. Be people that be quick to finish, not just start. Also finish. Then keeping commitment. I like the way Jesus puts it. He said, let your yes be yes and your no be no. Even Jesus even talks about not swearing. People say things like, oh, I swear. As Christians, we're taught not to swear by anything under heaven. But instead, he said, let your yes be yes and let your no be no. If you say yes, that's it. People should be able to take your yes as final, because over time, your character is proving that. And if you say no, people should know that, no, this guy won't do it. You get it? So that's where Christ wants us to get to. So keeping commitment and finishing assignments. Next value is what? Hard work. Hard work is a value that parents need to have themselves, and children will learn, even without sometimes talking about it. Yes, you teach them. Importance of what? Excellence in whatever you're doing, not doing things shabbishly. Diligent in whatever you're doing. We talked about it last month. Being diligent, consistently giving attention to that thing. We talked, and also, next thing is what? Persistence and reliability. If parents can focus on hard work for their children, tell them that you're not looking for easy way out to something or shortcut to the thing, thinking about the dignity of labor. I like it when I went to the National Museum of Welsh Life in Wales. It's amazing how you see different crafts and different trades and the effort and the time that these craftsmen put in and the skills of the craftsmanship. I love it. So teaching your children the dignity of labor, the pride of working hard, it's very, very important value that parents should have and they should teach onto their children. Next value is gratitude. Appreciating people, celebrating little things, avoiding entitlement, and always saying thank you. This would always help every family that gives you attention. The next value is forgiveness. I touched on this last week. Bitterness destroys families. Forgiveness restores unity. Pride divides. Humility heals. A family that does not forgive each other will not last long. A family that keeps record of wrongs will not last long. A family that is bearing a hurt done 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 days ago, will not go far. Teach your family forgiveness. Practice it. Some of these things I'm telling you is difficult to do in your own power. That's why the edge I have is because I read the Bible. The edge I have because I adhere to the things I see Christ teach. It gives me that edge. To forgive someone is not easy. But if you read the Bible, there are so many things that open your mind to, you begin to say, let this go, let this go. Because you've seen, you've learned from it, all right? Next value is unity. Team before self, shared vision, shared victories, and shared burden. Last week we talked about family vision, or no, is it family vision or the week before? Having a vision as a family, not just everybody running their own race, doing their own thing, nobody caring about the others. No. There's a good value to have unity. Unity is very, very important in the family. It's a good value. Next value is what? Legacy thinking. Legacy thinking is a very valid value to have as a family. Teach your children and you yourself, what happens after me? That's a good question to ask. Not what benefits me today. Think of legacy. Think of next generation. Think of next years, many, many years to come. And I hope that these things that I'm sharing, we're learning a thing or two from them. If you love it, please share this stream so more people can be a part of it. All right? So yes, why are values disappearing? If all these things I've shared, why are values disappearing? So parents are becoming busy making a living, which is good, instead of building families. So this is life. Parents are working hard. Some parents are alone, single parents working alone. Some of them, they are two, some working a day, some work at night, just to make ends meet, well understood. But what is now missing is that the time to imbibe key and instrumental values are not there. That's one of the challenges we're having today. Next challenge is what technology has connected devices while disconnecting families. When families, like I touched on it earlier, so I will not give attention to it. It's important that we are mindful of our use of devices and gadgets, over the days. Recently is affecting. Next point is entertainment has replaced conversation. Influencers have replaced mentors. Algorithms have replaced wisdom. Consumerism has replaced contentment. Comfort has replaced character. Popularity has replaced purpose. Achievement has replaced integrity. Success has replaced significance. These things, I want you to, as I'm saying them, be thinking about them. Let them be dropping down. Success has replaced significance. Achievement has replaced integrity. Popularity has replaced purpose. People are more interested in being popular now than the purpose, so they can get popular by any means. Even if it means being naked, even if it means exposing their nakedness just to get views, they will do it. Comfort has replaced character. People are interested in comfort over character. Consumerism has replaced contentment. Customers these days are just fixated on what they want and how they want it. A customer can run you down, run your company down, go on this, write a bad feedback because of how they feel, just because of entitlement. They're such kind of customer, please. You need to change. I'm not saying that, don't get me wrong, it's difficult to do businesses. You need to cut some companies slack. Yes, some companies to step up. But it's also important that we are not too, what the word, I don't know what to use. Let's bear that in mind. Algorithms have replaced wisdom. Influencers have replaced mentors. Let's be mindful so that the wrong influencers are not influencing you or your family today, right? So that's one of the reasons why values are disappearing. And I hope that we'll be making a U-turn to the way we do things and infusing values more day by day. So how do we build values back? If you have such values in your family, kudos to you. But if you don't have them, I want to encourage you. These are some of the little ways to build the family back. Eat together. When you eat together, as much as possible, put your devices or gadgets down. It's important. If you can eat, if you have on a table, eat together. If you don't have a table, eat together on the floor, on a mat or something. Eat together. It'll make a difference. Pray together. Create time to pray. No matter how busy, when I'm taking my children to school, we pray together. When we come back home, we pray together. In the morning, we pray together. When we can, we pray. You're giving your child a shower, pray together. Read together. A child that you don't teach how to read will never lead tomorrow. Read together. Serve together. Yesterday we were at a party. You're assigned to, we're helping a family out that organize the party. You also give assignments to your children. Do this. I said, doing it. Me and my wife we're helping our children are watching us. They are learning. It's important. Then celebrate honesty. Celebrate honesty. Celebrate it. It's very important to celebrate when people are honest. Reward integrity. If your child does something, or if you do something, reward it, right? Lead by example. There's one thing they say, I think it's in Nigeria, say don't do as I say. Don't do as I do. No, don't do as I say, do as I do. So your children do more of the things that you do than what you say. So lead by example. Next thing I want us to do to build this is tell family stories. Take out time to tell your children about your experience when you were young. Take out time to tell your children about the experiences your parents shared with you when you were young. Take out time to share experiences of your time at work. In those ways, you are shaping value in your children and in your family. Very important. Create family traditions. If you don't have traditions, like we as a family will travel to our home country or to precisely to our village for Christmas. These are family values. Create values. On everyone's birthday, we always put on a song of praise and dance around, praising God for that person's birthday. Create family traditions. There's so many out there. Write family values. We talked about today. Thank you very much, Misty. Do that. Then display those things that those family values. Display them on the screen. Review them. Like my wife, I remember in our kitchen there. I don't know, you guys can see it. She called my son and told him to get a pen and paper and told him to write down what his responsibility is as the first son of our family. And the boy wrote it down. It's still on the wall. Like I read it up. It's just a lot of time. And every time he passed as a young boy, he always sees responsibility. So you can also write your own family values and also pen them down. All right? Also pen them down. Next thing to do is what? Leave those values, not just writing them down. You leave them. It will make a whole lot of difference in your life. So as I wrap this up and begin to take your questions, I want us to bear some things in mind. Every family is famous for something. Every family is famous for something. The question is not whether your family has a reputation, but what that reputation is. That's the question. So it's better that you ask yourself, if someone heard your surname today, what values would immediately come to their mind? That's a very deep question. Is your family known for integrity or compromise? Is your family known for generosity or greed? Is your family known for faithfulness or division? So what stories does your family name tell before you have even spoken? These are important questions. Your surname is your family's brand. Your values determine its reputation. So focus on the values you're adding to your family. You can never go wrong by doing such things. Okay? All right. Next thing is what? The first classroom every child is not the school. It is the home. Children are educated in school, yes, but they are formed at home. Very important. Ask yourself, what lessons is your home teaching without words? What attitudes are your children absorbing simply by watching you? If your home has no television, internet, church, or school for 1 year, what kind of adult would it naturally produce? It's a deep question. I take that last one. If your home had no television, no internet, no church, or no school for 1 year, what kind of adults would it naturally produce? This is a deep question to ask yourself. Children hear our instructions occasionally, but they watch our examples every day. Your children are studying you, even when you are not teaching them. Your spouse is also studying you when you're not teaching them. Very, very important that we hear this in mind. Next thing is what? Crisis does not create value. It reveals them. Many people believe difficult times change people. No. In reality, difficult times often reveals what is already inside. That's the time to reveal it. So the thing to ask is that if your family suddenly lost its income tomorrow, what values would remain? What would your family stay united? Would they stay united or would they fall apart? That's the question. Would faith remain? Would our integrity remain? Or would your gratitude remain? That's a question. A family that survives prosperity but collapses under pressure was built on comfort, not character. Storms don't build foundations, they expose them. So bear these things in mind and be mindful of what is happening in your family. One generation can rewrite the story of an entire bloodline. I always say this and I never stop saying it. Perhaps you did not grow up in a family with strong value. Perhaps no one taught you integrity, no one taught you stewardship, no one taught you forgiveness or faith. That does not mean your children must inherit the same circle. Very important. Ask yourself, what unhealthy pattern will stop with me? What new value will begin with me? What do I want my great-grandchildren to thank me for 100 years from now? The choice is yours. You may not be able to choose the family you came from. No, people don't choose. But you can choose the family your descendants come from. Every great family legacy begins with one person who decides that he must start with me. So that is your choice. Do you want your family to be lack of substance, nothing to show for. No, I want to encourage you to make a big difference in the way things happen. So when your great-grandchildren speak your name decades from now, will they remember the money you accumulated or values you established? That is very important. This is a measure of a life well lived or a family legacy that endures. The choice is yours. And I hope that we've learned so many things today. And I hope that you've made a thing or two from what I've shared. So if you want to, and thank you very much for taking your time. I can see 209 of you, and I can also see some of you on TikTok. Thank you very much. If anything I've shared today has been a blessing to you, you've learned a thing or two, put your takeaways in the comment section, and also share this as I take on contributions and more questions from those that want to ask. All right? Those that want to ask, yeah. Anyone wants to ask questions, please feel free. I can add you on while okay. While I we move on this, okay? All right. Let me just see. I'm trying to take questions. Please, if you want to contribute, let me know. Let's take this on. Okay, let me take some of the questions I have here as we wrap this up. And for those that want to go watch football, they can go watch football, right? Thank you very much for taking our time. Thank you very much, Barbara. C-Day, thank you very much. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much, Cecilia, for joining us from the United States. I very much appreciate you. Brenda Forbes, thank you very much. You are the best. Thank you. Very kind words from you. Olabode, thank you for the thumbs up. And thank you, everyone. Thank you. It says, Olabode says, are there any simple tips for spending quality time with family every day amidst a busy lifestyle? Olabode, what I can say to you is that it depends on what you call priority. You understand? If you value your family, and like my bishop always say, if you have enough time to eat, you have enough time to read. That means also you have enough time to spend time with your family. So these things are intentionalities. Some of them are important. Like when you pick up your children from school, you intentionally ask them questions. It could be while you're driving home, or while you're walking to the bus, or while you're doing anything. Those intentional ones are very, very important. It could be sometimes they wake up in the morning and I could just open my mouth and start praying to them, praying for their lives and their destinies. It could be when they're taking a shower. It could be over the food, whatever it is. And also, sometimes my wife makes me know whenever I'm going out, if it's somewhere, I did not take one of my child, my son or my daughter, one of them, and I intentionally ask them when they're alone with me in the car, ask them questions. Is there anything you want to tell me? You know, in Igbo, I say, what do you want to tell me? I start forcing them to think of things. So I'm trying to create an atmosphere that whenever they're alone with me in the car, that they want to share something that they might not be comfortable to share when every other person is there. You know, they want to ask me questions. I do that on purpose. So creating time for your family has to be done intentionally. If it's important to you, you know, you can start from 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 15 minutes to creating time to take them out. For my son is already asking me, when are we going to, I want to have time to take them out to a fun place, you know, so because they know that you're going to be available to do that. So my encouragement to you, Olabode, is you have to be intentional about it. Same way you create time for food and for any other thing that's valuable, for movies or whatever, create that time for that family. Start from 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and before anything, you build on it so that it can become part and parcel of you. I hope that helps, Olabode. Thank you for asking that question. Misty, thank you very much. You're very much appreciated. Caroline says, when a child makes a mistake or does something wrong, what is the right way for parents to control their anger and explain things to them? To be honest, it depends on the situation, depends on what it is. One might a parent might react angrily, but the Bible tells us that whatever you do it in love. You know, if you speak the truth in love, that's what the Bible says. Speaking the truth in love. If you speak the truth in love, your children will see that in that your admonishment or that your disappointment, that you mean well. You understand it? And the way they will take it to be different than in that anger. You start calling them names. You start denigrating them. You start talking down on them, and all manner of things that parents do out of anger. Some people knowingly do it. Some people are not trained or cultured, and they don't know how to not to do such things. So I'm saying the Bible tells us not to sin in our anger. So it's important. It's difficult to be angry and not say some things that are not printable. But as the Bible admonishes, over time your character builds and develops, so that even if you're angry, you don't say the wrong things. It's very possible. So, and if you don't say the wrong things, you're able to still control. What's it called? You're able to still what's the word to use? You're able to still teach your children when they make the wrong step or take the wrong step, or how to do it without being angry or without messing things up or making it worse. Have they just know that coming to tell you is a waste of time, because they tell you you're going to react so badly. You should be able to, your children should be able to be comfortable to come and tell you something wrong they did, even though they know they're going to face consequences. You should get to that point, and you can never go wrong. Okay? All right. Misty Hermas Calculas. Thank you very much. You say, we teach children what ought to be done, but we do not teach them how to make the right decisions on their own. How can we teach our children to make independent decisions based on values? To be honest, for me, the Bible makes a whole lot of difference. And I'm also intentional to look for movies that so I can also teach them. I also some stars or music stars or some celebrities or whatever that I love what they do. I also expose my children to them. Some documentaries that I know that have values, I want my children to learn from. I also expose them to them. And some families that have the kind of results you desire. You also relate with those families so your children can learn from the children of that family that you look up to. So, in those ways, your children will naturally make independent decisions on their own based on the things that you invested. If you don't invest anything in them, don't expect anything. Bible says, whatsoever a man sows, so shall he reap. If you don't sow values in your children and in yourself or your spouse, you will not reap anything. You reap rubbish. You reap half-baked children or spoiled children. But if you intentionally create time to sow or add value to them, you will make a whole lot of difference. Thank you very much for that. So, I hope that helps, Misty. Thank you very much, Julia. Thank you very much, Daniel Lovrick. You're right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Collins. You say it often happens that when a child makes a mistake, we ourselves suffer from a sense of guilt, wondering, did I fail to be a good parent? What are the ways to alleviate this mental stress from parents? Yeah. To be honest, if a parent should ask themselves, did I fail, is a very good question. Because if one does not always take stock of their behavior or of outcomes, my people call it that it's asking yourself, did I fail to be a good parent, is called self-appraisal. It doesn't mean that you have failed parenting. You just like how you saying to yourself, what did I get you wrong? What should I have done better? How can I do this better? That's basically how I see that question. So my advice would be that even if your child does something wrong and you ask yourself that question, don't feel bad asking yourself that question. It's okay. What did I do wrong, and how can we make this better? What did I do wrong? How can we make this better? It's a very valid question to ask, and don't feel like you're stressing yourself or under pressure or something like that. No, it's a good question to ask, and even if your child is getting it right, it's also good to ask, what are we doing right, and how can we make it better? That is a good way, and I would approach it that way, and I hope that's very helpful for everyone. Thank you very much, Collins, for that question. Very much appreciated. All right. Let's take Julia's question. Julia Yampoma. She says, "I'm so proud to see this initiative of yours. Everyone should watch this discussions about family. Much love." Oh, thank you very much, Julia. It's very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Thank you for always joining and your thoughts. Your VA 247. You want to say anything to us?
Yes. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Thank you, sir. Okay. I'd like to appreciate your efforts every Sunday for this, and then I'd like to add a bit to what you have said earlier. So earlier today, while going through some materials, I realized how important, like how important it is to actually be a parent. When you become a parent, the moment you have children, even if it is just a child, there are a lot of things that you need to get let go of. So today's session was more like you reinforcing more of more on what I have already learned earlier today, because I was exposed to the fact that children, when you have children, the way you raise them can have impact from generations to generations to come. So there are a lot of things to let go of. There are a lot of things to implement once you have a child, once you become a parent. So thank you so much, sir, for all the points so far. Thank you for this section as well. God bless your effort.
Yeah, thank you very much. You're here 247. Very much appreciate. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you for always supporting this stream and for the thoughts you just shared. That I'm sure one or two people have learned and heard from you. Please, when someone comments like this, if you like what they do, please follow their pages so that you can learn from it. I think she's joining us from TikTok. Her account is your VA247. If you want to follow her and learn or just follow, it's good to be with like minds. Thank you very much for that. It's very much appreciated, right? So let me take whose comment, whose question was next? Let me see. It says, I think it's Desmond Adil. Says, if a family has already become accustomed to an unhealthy lifestyle, is it impossible to make a U-turn and build beautiful families' values anew? Yes. My bishop will always say, it's never too late to get it right. And if you read Rick Warren's book, I think one of the first few pages, he will tell you you can never get to the right destination through the wrong path. So no matter how far you've driven on the wrong road, you'll never get to your destination on that wrong road. So the earlier you do a U-turn, heading towards the road that leads you to the right location, you get there faster. Even if you have spent 14 hours on the wrong road, you'll never get to your destination on the wrong road. So my point, that is a response to your question, Desmond. So is it possible to make a U-turn and build a beautiful family? Yes. If that family start doing the things I shared on the stream, sort it out. If you missed out on whoever it is, you can share this with them. Live stream, let them go to my page and type my name, click on live, click on today's topic, and watch those things and go over them. I believe it's not going to be easy, honestly speaking. But yes, it's possible for families to start new values. I highly believe so. You can drop and start. I highly believe so. Thank you very much, Brenda, for your comments. Thank you very much, Peter, for your thoughts. So thank you very much, GW Mark. It says, as parents, alongside shaping a child's career, what is the most crucial value to instill in them so that when they grow up, they cherish and care for their parents at home instead of sending them to an old-aged home? Thank you very much, Jill, for this point. It's amazing, and I appreciate them. To be honest, sending parents to old age home is culture by culture. Where I come from, we don't do such things. I'm Nigerian, I'm Igbo by tribe. We don't send our parents to old age home. To be honest, you build. It's all about, like I said, what you sow in your children is what you will reap as well. If you reap a family bond, if you sow family knitted together, you sow family bond, if you sow the importance of being together, you show the value, that's what you will get in your old age. Your children will not take you and keep you somewhere. If your children value you, they will not, yes, I know they have to work hard, don't get me wrong, but they know the importance of having you around. They also know the mind. Being in old people's home is good, but it's not the greatest. You get it? So in this part of the world, United Kingdom, you see people living alone in homes. See old people living alone. When I first came to this country, I saw in the news a woman that had died for over a week and nobody knew. And she was living alone. She even died as a result of the things she bought in a shop. I think she stacked them. I don't know how she got them up high. One of them either fell on her and she collapsed and died and nobody knew. I once walked in a place that someone died for about 2 or 3 days. Nobody knew. You know, they had to. Then the place where I walked to, a colleague of mine took a coin, a coin, and put on the door, and he said, if I come back tomorrow and this coin is still there, and that means that when we left, nobody came out and we don't know. He said that we have to call the police because that means that this guy is no more alive and he's likely by being dead. And lo and behold, came back the next day, the coin was still on the door. That means the guy was inside. No family member to check on him, nothing. Loneliness is not good. That's one of the things that the Bible says that God says, I hate loneliness. It's a hatred. It's not, sorry, it says it's not good for man to be alone. Sorry. It's not good for man to be alone. Man was never designed to be an island. Man was not designed to be alone. Westernization and all these things, people entertain themselves with television and all the man was not designed to be alone. So instill values of family and togetherness. That will be the fruits that your children would learn. And automatically, you never see yourself in old people's home if you taught your children the importance of staying together as a family. All right? Well done. And also, you're not a character that your children dread to be around. Some families, yes, you might have, but it might be a heart, it might be a pain. They don't want you to be around, so they go and put you there so that you can they come and see you when they come, when they feel like. I don't pray that for anybody. So build the right character and the right values. Can never go wrong. Okay. Thank you very much for that question, Gio Mark. It's very, very much apt. And thank you for the thumbs up. So yeah, we're about to round off. Our time is already exhausted now. All right. Let me see. Our time is exhausted already. Let me see. Sorry, guys. Okay. So we're almost done. Misty says to raise a child as a responsible, truly good person with strong morals, values, what habits should parents prioritize most from an early age? To be honest, it's just some of the things I shared over time. So just please go over them. You know, for me, number one thing for me is that I raise my child, I raise all my children to be followers and lovers of Jesus Christ, and also to love and study the Bible and to live by the Bible. That's my number one thing. That's my priority. Because the Bible will shape the mentality, shape their way, shape values, do a lot of things, do a lot of heavy lifting for me, you know, and I'll have a child that you can be proud of. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Sammy Home Tutor. Very much appreciate you for your lesson. Thank you very much. A lot you have shared today is not just about blessing, but enduring truth if put to use. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. 10, okay, let me say 10 family values. Very much appreciated. Thank you. And Sammy Holmes says, thank you so much for today's session. This is a great lesson for parents and parents to be. We truly appreciate them. Thank you very much. And it says as well, Sammy Home Tutor says, this family vision is one of my major takeaways of this session. Couples who pursue their vision separately barely have a positive outcome. Yeah, thank you very much, Sammy Tutors. Your comments are very much appreciated, and what you're saying is very, very true. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for the question. Thank you for the comments. Very much appreciated. I'm just going to bring this to a close so that those that want to go watch football can quickly go join that. All right. So please remember that this live stream is sponsored by The Things You Love, D610 Homes and Love Family Podcast. Do well to check them out. The Things You Love, spelled DTINSLUV. The Things You Love. Check them out. And D610 Homes, spelled D610 TEN Homes, HOMES. Check them out. Love Family Podcast is Love, Family, and Podcast. One word. Check them out on Instagram or anywhere. Follow those channels and you do well. You can never go wrong. All right? All right. So please, next week we'll talk about one more topic about still on families. One more topic as we bring this our focus on families for the month to an end. This is me saying a big thank you to everyone, especially those that work closely in my team, to my PA, Venus, to my social media manager, Dami, to my family, especially my wife, strong wife, to my children, my colleagues, my mentors, as well as with this Shane. Thank you. Please share this live stream. More people can be a part of it. Share live stream, especially even if you are watching. A lot of people watch after than live. Please share it. All right. Okay. All right. Please don't forget, if you want my free ebook, paid ebook, if you want me to talk to me, whatever it is, just send me a DM. Or any other thing, just send a DM. If you want to collaborate, you want us to do something together, send us a DM. Francesca Ejituro says, today's lesson centers on good parenting. Parents have a good job to do in our children. May God be, and I didn't get the rest, but thank you very much for that, Francesca. Let me see if I missed out on anybody else when I said something. Please, guys, if I missed out on something, please repost it just before we go live, because on TikTok it doesn't stay like other channels. You might not see the many things somebody said. All right, thank you very much for your comments and takeaways, guys. Very much appreciated. So last, I just by way of a recap, wealth may open doors, values keep them open. Okay, money build houses, values build homes. Wealth can be inherited, character must be developed. Families rarely collapse overnight. They slowly abandon their values. You know, the greatest inheritance is not what parents leave to their children. No, it's what parents leave inside their children. So, as we wrap up, your children may spend everything you leave for them, but they will live by everything you leave within them. Now, that single sentence beautifully captures the entire message and gives you a thought of everything that has been said today. Your children may spend everything you leave for them, but they will live by everything you leave within them. So bear that in mind, and I hope that you guys have learned a thing or two today. All right. All right. Thank you very much for your time. Remember that the whole idea of why I do this is to stir up the satisfaction within your spirit, man. You know, and to awaken the possibilities that are in you, and to get you to where God wants you to be. Remember this scripture, Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 7. I've seen servants on horses while princes walk on the ground like servants. Don't forget the scripture. I'm sure that at time you are at the right place at the right time. Okay? Remember, the wise always invest. Invest in whatever will make your family value strong, growing, and keep going well. All right? And this is me saying, okay, sorry. Francesca says, today's lesson centers on good parenting, where really, parents have a great job to do on our children. Yes, that is the truth. And God will help us, Francesca. Thank you for that comment. So remember, do whatever it takes to build your family to have strong values. And this is me saying to you guys, do peace, and I'll see you next Sunday, 7 p.m. UK time. God bless you. Bye-bye.